the Brainiac Corporation. And another day begins. From all over the country, a crack team of the finest minds arrive at their base.
Hello.
Their mission, to continue to push back the boundaries of scientific knowledge and understanding. So come on in, step inside with us. But prepare yourself for a bumpy ride as we embark on the worst excesses that are Brainiac Science Abuse.
Welcome to Brainiac, the science show that tells you the truth. Father Christmas is real, and we've got the proof.
The big science tonight. Could jumping at the last minute in a plummeting lift save your life? Where's the most painful place to be pinched? Can looking this stupid really get you to work faster? And another lucky viewer becomes Brainiac for a day. But first...
Stop! The following experiment is dangerous. Do not try this at home. No, really, don't.
This is a melon. A gala melon, to be precise. A tasty treat served cold, not so nice warmed through. But we're not planning to eat this one. When the microwave is turned on, the melon's 80% water content becomes extremely agitated. Usually the melon might gently split in a puff of sweet-smelling steam. But do this 100 or so times, and eventually you'll find a melon that contains the pressure and allows it to build. Until... controversial evidence that fruit can be bad for your health. We do these experiments so you don't have to. Do not try this at home.
What is the worst place on the body to be pinched?
Down at the lab, we're preparing to clear up one of science's biggest questions. What is the worst place on the body to be pinched? As body parts are different shapes and sizes, we're using a variety of tools to nip this Brainiac on his most sensitive bits. He'll give each pinch a pain rating. First, a quick nip to the waist.
Brace yourself.
And the marks out of 10?
5.
A gentle start. Our bodies are protected by pain receptors that plaster the surface of the skin. The face has many.
4.
As do the legs.
5.
The more receptors, the more pain our Brainiac feels when the skin is pinched.
6.
The way to avoid a pinch is to stretch the skin tight so there are no flabby grab holds. This obstructs the pain receptors.
7.
Not a technique we're using right now, though, because our aim is to cause our Brainiac as much pain as possible.
2.
So the chin has a mild pain rating, but how about the really fragile regions? Like nipples, for example.
8.
And to think some people pay good money for this kind of treatment. Time to up the ante. Bend over. The backside contains bundles of elastic fibres for cushioning. But it's also full of nerve endings.
9.
So the buttocks lead the way with a spanking 9. But what about the back of the arm? I think that says it all.
10.
Yes, we have a winner. Scoring a maximum 10 for soreness, the worst part of the body to be pinched is officially the back of the arm. Who said science can't be fun?
Things that make you go.
Here's one for you.
Why do pizzas come in square boxes?
Things that make you go.
Opening. Ground floor. Doors closing.
Being trapped in a lift, a claustrophobic's worst nightmare. The temperature starts to rise, the walls start closing in. Before you know it, all hope of being rescued is gone forever, and you're just left with the horror of being suspended 12 stories up in a flimsy metal box. Next thing you know, the cable snaps. What are you gonna do? What? One often quoted method of surviving in a plummeting lift is to wait until you're just a few feet from the ground and then jump, thus turning your multi-storey freefall into nothing more harmful than jumping off, say, a low wall. You see, there is a faint whiff of plausibility to this, but you wouldn't want to try it yourself, would you? No. Well, that's what we've got Brainiacs for. I feel an experiment coming on. Over here, one recreated lift. Over there, one crane, ready to drop it from 130 feet for about 10 stories. Inside the lift, one John Tickle. Hi, mate, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Richard.
Good.
Hugely excited by this experiment.
Yes, me too.
I'm sure anybody who's been in a lift has surely considered the whole cable snap scenario. And although there's no real danger of death, thanks to a clever ratchet mechanism invented in 1853 by Elisha Otis, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's thought, well, what if?
Exactly so. What if?
Well, jump or no jump, I think you're still probably going to die.
You see, it's that probably bit that has no place here. What we need is a definite yes or no. What we need is a volunteer to go in the lift. OK, Brainiacs, on my signal, start jumping up and down. Jump! Up you go. Right, I'm looking for the best leaps you can give me. The highest... What is that? I wouldn't have you in a school sports day. That's rubbish. Morecambe and Wise on the end, you're useless. It's you, well volunteered. You lot, go away, make yourselves useful. Leave you in there. And I'll tell you what, just to make sure, put that on. You'll be fine. Right, take him up. Now, we're going to start small, just in case, well, just in case, really. And as we're starting from such a low height, what's going to happen is when I count down 3, 2, 1 and say go, the lift will drop to the ground. I want you, Brainiac, at that moment to leap majestically into the air and, well, stuff will happen. Right, I'm going to watch from a long way away. So, 3, 2, 1, go! Right, not that dramatic, really, but
No.
hardly surprising it wasn't all that big a drop. Mind you, we have apparently had a telephone call from his mother saying, would we mind not using him for the big drop?
The lift's going to be doing about 60 miles an hour when it hits the ground. That's going to be like driving a car at a brick wall, only vertical and without an airbag. Now, if he does jump, and let's say a human can jump at 10 miles an hour maximum, then he is going to be going upwards inside the lift, but relative to the ground, it's still effectively 50 miles an hour downwards. Now, that might be slower, but I wouldn't want to be hitting anything solid at that speed.
Thing is, you can't help but wonder what would happen if you actually did it for real. So, we've got this more expendable Brainiac. It works for nothing, it costs less to feed, and it never answers back. We should use them more. So, John, how's this going to work then?
Well, here's the plan, Richard. We're going to hoist the lift up to 130 feet and drop it.
Righto.
Now, inside here, we have our special ejection mechanism gizmo. There's a small explosive charge in that.
In there.
And when we fire it, it's going to propel the Brainiac upwards at about the same speed that a human would jump.
Right, that's brilliant.
Yes, I think we're about ready to test it.
OK, let's see it then. Hey! Excellent. Now, to get the most out of this whole experiment, we've devised a complete scenario. So, this Brainiac is now a waiter. He's heading up to the 10th floor for room service. He's taking this trolley full of, you know, usual room service stuff. A big trifle, a cup of tea, some biscuits, some sandwiches, all that kind of thing. What we want to know is what happens as the lift drops. Maybe this stuff ends up in the air, like zero gravity.
And you know what, Richard? Why jump up in the air? Why not stay on the ground instead? I think that's a tremendous plan. So I'm going to put this melon on the floor.
Right.
And we'll see what kind of mess you'd end up with if you tried the whole getting down on the floor technique prior to impact.
Brilliant, so we've covered the lot. OK, we're all set. Let's go. I grant it's not exactly an express lift, but it'll probably be quicker on the way down.
OK then,
We're ready.
let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Going down. As the elevator plummets, the occupants experience what's called apparent weightlessness. And in freefall, if you try to contract your legs in order to jump, they'll just rise to your chest as your body has no weight to push downward.
Magnificent!
There we go. It's
Pieces
not gone
everywhere.
well, your theory about lying in one place, where's your melon then, smart Alec?
Well, if that was a head, there's no brains left, are there?
That's it. That's your lie in one place theory. And I have to say, our theory for our Brainiac, what's happened there is his head's come off, and so have his arms and it's not gone well.
Well, I mean, the whole theory's stupid anyway, because if you could jump upwards at the same speed that the lift was falling downwards, all you'd be doing is mashing your head at the top of the lift anyway.
So you'd be spread all over there,
Yeah,
instead of spread all over there. Right, well, there you go. That's the answer. Another piece of essential and useful life advice from Brainiac. If you do find yourself in a plummeting lift, don't bother trying to jump.
Things what my body does.
Hi, my name is Becky, and the thing my body does is this.
You are the latest contender.
The elbow joint. It's where the radius and ulnar bones in the forearm hinge with the humerus bone in the upper arm, allowing some weird people to do humorous things like this.
You will surrender.
If you've got a body that does something unusual, then write to us at info@brainiac.co.uk and we'll share it with the world. All in the name of science, of course. Will it glow or will it blow? The weekly chemistry conundrum as posed by Dr. John P. Kilcoyne, Principal Lecturer at the University of Sunderland. So what chemicals does Dr. Kilcoyne have in the shed today?
Sodium hydrogen carbonate, vinegar. Will it glow or will it blow?
The answer coming up after the break. Also to come, what food do cats and dogs really like? How hard is it to run through cotton wool? And it's shocking what some people will do just to get on telly.
This is Brainiac, a virus on the hard drive of science.
Still to come. The world of tomorrow today. What is the best way to travel on foot? Bunhead puts the annoyance into science.
This is like that Bruce Lee moment.
A movie star has a license to thrill. But first... Before the break, Dr. John P. Kilcoyne of the University of Sunderland posed the question.
Sodium hydrogen carbonate, vinegar. Will it glow or will it blow?
The answer? Blow. Sodium hydrogen carbonate reacts with acid, giving off carbon dioxide gas. Pressure builds up in the tub until it makes a very satisfying blow.
What a great blow.
Nice one, Doc.
Hold on to your hats because it's Brainiac for a day. With your hosts, Dolly Girl and Dolly Boy. Each week, one lucky viewer gets to put on the famous yellow t-shirt and spend an explosive thrill-packed day as a Brainiac. And this week's Brainiac stalker is Alan Britton, a 40-year-old anger management counsellor from Swindon in Wiltshire. That's bad luck, Alan. But welcome to the show. Now, tell us what it is you're blowing up today.
A two-man tent.
That's right. Not a one-man, not a three-man. This is definitely a two-man tent. For 15 years, Alan's parents took the family camping in Bognor Regis. This is the tent 4 brothers had to share. Poor Alan always got the wet patch. Inside, he's raging. But before Alan loses it completely, he needs to step through the magic Brainiac door and transform from Councillor Alan into Brainiac Alan! What a transformation! But now, it's crunch time for our stressed-out Brainiac. Each of these envelopes contains a different explosive. Which one will Alan choose? He's gone for B. Let's find out what he's got. Volatile fuel! Great choice, Alan. Suits your personality. Uh-oh, no time for camera gunning, because there's the siren. The signal for Alan and the presenters to retreat to a moderately safe distance. Allowing our explosives expert to step in and prepare the tent for destruction. Volatile fuel gives off highly explosive vapors when mixed with air. It's especially dangerous in small, confined spaces, so it's important not to panic. Don't forget, it could be you joining us here on the Brainiac for a Day set. Just write to us at info@brainiac.co.uk telling us what you'd like to blow up and why. But today, it's all about Alan. As always on Brainiac for a Day, it's safety first.
Brainiac second!
Quiet, please, as Alan tries some radical therapy. Ay, caramba! What a blast! Let's run that one back up the tent pole and look at it again. All it takes is the tiniest spark to ignite, and it's bye-bye two-man tent. The volatile fuel evaporates, filling the cramped canvas space right to the brim with explosive vapor. It's all annihilated in a fireball inferno. Well done, Alan. Camping's for losers anyway.
Thanks, Brainiac, for making me a Brainiac for a day.
Quite all right. Now quickly off you go. One of your ex-patients is smashing up your car. Oh, and Alan, don't get mad. Get even.
It's slow, boring, and old-fashioned. And let's face it, walking's not much fun either. But there must be a way of making pedestrianism quicker and more exciting. Well, there is. And these Brainiacs are going to find out which of these ridiculous foot appendages is fastest. Brainiac 1's in kangaroo boots. Don't they look stylish? Long live the 80s. Brainiac 2 is wearing a pair of those wheelie-heeled trainers. The 21st century equivalent of having a compass in the heel. And Brainiac 3 has drawn the short straw and will be dicing with death on these weird spring-loaded stilts. To find out which is the quickest, each Brainiac has to complete a circuit of this high street, starting at the road sign, crossing at the traffic lights, and finishing on the other side at the bus stop. Normal walking time, 1 minute 23 seconds. Can this wallaby wannabe do better? And off he staggers. These marsupial-inspired Swiss-engineered exercise boots have been used by NASA astronauts to help replenish bone density after prolonged trips in zero gravity. Just the thing to attract admiring glances during the rush hour. And he's moved smoothly through the chicane. He's at the traffic lights already. It's claimed this mode of transport actually increases your calorie burn rate by 25%. In just 3 weeks, you could lose a pant size. Or a leg after only just 30 seconds. But it looks like he's going to make it to the bus stop, and he does in a respectable time of 38.28 seconds. Can the imaginatively titled Heelys improve on that? Whoever had the bright idea of crossing roller skates with trainers clearly had a death wish. But apparently millions of kids are going head over heels for these shoes in the States. And so nearly is our Brainiac. He's made good time, though, to the traffic lights. Again, good respect for the highway code, and he's decided to revert back to the traditional method of crossing the road. And the crowd aren't too happy about that. Rocketing past the shops on the opposite side now, and the spectators love it. A blistering burst down the home straight to the bus stop, and that is an incredible 36.04 seconds. Although he was strongly motivated. His mum's told him he's got to be back by 6 for his tea. So it's up to our final footwear fad to get a better time. These bizarre acrobatic stilts consist of a foot pad attached to a fiberglass leaf spring. A skilled user can bounce 3 meters high on these. This Brainiac's only had half an hour to practice though, and 20 minutes of that was doing up his shoelaces. It's a tentative tramp across the lights, although he's actually picking up some speed now, and yes, he's overtaken that OAP. A nifty manoeuvre outside the takeaway, and he's into the final stretch. Just a few more tendon-popping strides to go, and it's 36.60 seconds for our stork-legged freak. So, third place in the High Street Speed Trials goes to the kangaroo boots. In second, those power stilts. But our test reveals that when it comes to rush hour, there's nothing pedestrian about heel-wheel trainers. Just remember to wear your protective gear. This frame contains 15 thicknesses of surgical-grade cotton wool. The material consists of short cotton fibres, roughly parallel and up to 3 centimetres in length. A process of separating the fibres makes them naturally stick together. This Brainiac is about to run full speed towards the cotton wool. But will he break through or bounce off? It's a breakthrough! The Brainiac's momentum was easily enough to thump through the refined cotton fleece. Not entirely surprising, but incredibly satisfying. 15 layers of cotton wool, something you can run through. We're back in the basement of Brainiac HQ to answer one of science's burning questions. Which celebrity can take the biggest electric shock? Our penultimate challenger is nightclub owner and bouncer rolled into one, Fran Cosgrave. First, Fran acquaints himself with the chair, before he's handed a safe phrase to squeal when it hurts. In this case, a familiar phrase uttered at Fran's exclusively chav celebrity nightclub. Next, our assistants step in to make last-minute medical checks, normally to check for pre-existing heart conditions. In this instance, they're checking for brain activity. 28-year-old Fran is 6 feet tall and 5 feet wide. His best friend is Callum Best, and between them they have 3 GCSEs, though Fran admits he only scored a U on his general science paper. The Brainiac electric chair has 6 shock settings, from remote control soft to taser gun intense. So how much can the Cosgrave take? Fran inflicted 6 weeks of pain and suffering when he took part in the first series of Love Island. We feel it's time for payback. But not so much as a whimper from our tough guy as we reach level 3. Having dated Jodie Marsh, Fran knows how to endure a real pain. As a result, he's coasting through our steadily increasing shocks. Only Oliver Skeet has taken this many shocks, and still, Fran the man keeps on going.
Your name's not down, you're not coming in.
Finally, the shocks get through, and our hard man has fallen. That puts him level with Oliver Skeet at the top of the leaderboard. Which means the only person who can block their path to glory is next week's challenger, Vanessa Feltz. Yet again, Brainiac has gone knocking at the door of fame and fortune in the hope that any international movie stars might fancy coming out to blow something up. This week, a real action man. But he's clearly dressed for the occasion. That suit made by the tailor of Panama. Born in Ireland and raised in England, this actor now lives in America. But for him, seeing the world is not enough, not when there's cars to blow up. The waiting fans won't be disappointed, but which Hollywood superstar are they about to greet? These Brainiacs will be shaken and stirred by this one. It's 007 number 5, Pierce Brosnan. Although renowned for Bond, it was Brosnan's appearance as a volcano scientist in Dante's Peak that brought him to the attention of Brainiac. Volcanology aside, Pierce describes himself as more of a theoretical scientist and can often be found quoting Heisenberg's uncertainty principle while hobnobbing with the showbiz elite. As he makes his way towards the golden star that will detonate this car, the Brainiacs fall silent. Another heavyweight performance from Pierce. That rover had a problem with a stalling engine. One thing's for sure, it's not going to die another day now. Brosnan's got a golden eye for explosions, and that one really appeals. Movie stars, exploding cars. Thanks, Brozza, you did us proud. Dr. Bunhead's back on the road in his trusty old banger. So, take cover, because science's biggest loser is still trying to flog his half-baked experiments to the unsuspecting public.
Oh, hello. Hi, excuse me. Hello. Right, I bet you £5, just come in, I can get all of these eggs into those pint glasses without breaking a single egg.
Oh, we've got to give you money to see it.
I just need some money because my car's broken down. You're interested, aren't you? OK, no harm will come to you as long as you don't stand in the trajectory of the flying eggs. Now, I haven't ever done this before. Yeah, it has never been done before. So if I get this, £10, they all fall in without breaking. I'll just get this. This is like that Bruce Lee moment, isn't it?
In the wrist.
Well, it's more than that. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and a half.
You didn't get them all in, though, did he? That's not a bad effort.
It's got to be worth £5, hasn't it?
No, mate. I think it's
£2.50.
No, sorry.
Are any of you a mechanic?
No, mate. No, sorry.
I've got Maxi. It's broken down. Let me drive your car, at least. I'll drive your car.
I'll do that next time. See ya.
Please.
I'm gonna try.
Come in. Stand over there for me. Right, Mr. Tickle. What can we do for you today?
Nurse, I'm bored. Can you tell me something interesting I can do with my body?
Certainly. Try this. Please put your arm in front of you.
Ow! That hurts.
Okay. Now cough while I pinch you again.
Okay.
Coughing to stop pain has been proposed as a way of making injections hurt less. Scientists suggest the cough momentarily increases the blood pressure, and that in this tense body state, our perception of pain is reduced.
Ooh, that doesn't hurt quite so much. How strange. Thanks, nurse. That'll keep me amused for hours.
Not at all. Goodbye, Mr. Tickle.
Goodbye.
Like the rest of Britain, Brainiacs are animal lovers. Now, we've all heard that cats love cream and dogs love bones. But what's the truth? What do cats and dogs really like?
Brainiacs have a lot in common with cats and dogs. They sleep a lot, have absolutely no shame, and they're constantly thinking about food. Tradition has it that cats like cream and dogs like bones. But what's the truth? What do cats and dogs really like? we'll be testing 3 different foodstuffs to see which is the feline favourite. Brainiac 1 is being coated with fish. Ask 100 people to name something a cat likes, and here's your top answer. Some tin tuna as well. 8 out of 10 owners say their cats prefer it. Brainiac 2 is going to be covered in that other kitty favourite, cream. This stuff's just on the turn, so there's long life as well. And finally, as something of a control, Brainiac 3 will be smeared with proper manufactured cat food. Time to release the cats, but which Brainiac will be the most popular? The cream is of immediate interest, but most cats are lactose intolerant, so unless you want a cat with diarrhea on your hands, you're best keeping milk for an occasional treat. Many cats love cat food. These, however, are displaying typical feline behaviour and turning their noses up at the sort we bought. Ungrateful creatures. Fish notoriously drives cats crazy. Strangely though, it's not a natural food for the species, but it's thought the smell triggers an instinctive craving. And there, it's at least slightly enticing to one cat. That's a good enough result for us. A cat's favourite food is fish. But what about the dogs? Traditionally man's best friend until the internet came along. Now they're just good mates. 3 clean suits for the Brainiacs and 3 tasty canine treats. First, bones. Watch any cartoon and these are the way to a dog's attention. As for bone choice, beef is best. Absolutely not chicken, as they can fragment and choke the dog. Next, sausages. Well documented in folklore is the tale of the cheeky dog running into a butcher's shop and making off with a string of juicy bangers. We'll find out if there's any truth in it. Finally, the control. Canned dog food. Succulent chunks with marrowbone and jelly. So what will the dogs make of it all? First, the bones. But these hungry dogs are only half interested in the jaw exercise and teeth-cleaning properties that bones offer. The dog meat's certainly popular. Interestingly, this is the reason you don't see white dog poo anymore. Tinned food no longer contains calcium-rich bone meal. But it's the cooked sausages, unsurprisingly, that get the most interest. Watch your fingers, Brainiac. So, would you credit it? A cat's favourite food is fish, and for dogs, sausages. And by the way, these results don't work the other way round. Professor Myang Li, bringing glamour as well as brains to the world of Brainiac. The professor's been keeping busy turning household items into mush with her favourite flamethrower. But can you guess what object she's turned to goo this week? It's hot, sweaty work, but that won't stop Professor Myang Li. Well done, Prof. What a cracking mess you've made. So can you uncover the plot and work out what this sloppy mush was before it was set alight? Find out after the break. Also to come, what's the best thing to use if you've forgotten your golf clubs? It's lunchtime at the lab, and a caravan has the most exciting day of its life. This is Brainiac, the show that puts worms in the pockets of science. Still to come, it's bogeys all round on the golf course. How many donuts can you eat without licking your lips? And how a tiny arrow can cause an enormous explosion. But first, before the break, we saw Professor Myang Li let loose with her favourite toy, turning an everyday household item into this melted mess. But what was it before the prof gave it a good seeing to? So there you have it, a rubber-masked, straw-stuffed Guy Fawkes. Nice one, Prof. You're hot stuff. Which is Britain's most absorbent food? Down at the lab, we've a liquid lunch of a different kind for these starving brainiacs. They'll be testing 3 foods famous for their mopping up abilities: bread, Yorkshire pudding, and sponge cake. First to soak up a 3-course dinner will be declared Britain's most absorbent food.
Bon appetit.
Despite not having eaten for 2 days, it's a patient start. Extreme hunger and malnutrition never come before science, and time is needed for the tiny air pockets in the spongy foods to collect the liquid. Yorkshire Boy getting an early mouthful in, but with tomato soup to start, Bread Boy must fancy himself to get ahead. Sponge Boy finding the combination of sugary sponge and cream of tomato hard to soak up and hard to stomach. The fluffy cake turning into croutons from hell. It's no surprise Bread Boy's first to soak up the soup and move on to the main course, a puddle of leftover gravy. How will the 4,500-year-old baker's favourite cope with this? Pudding Boy's got some catching up to do. Soup not the natural home of Yorkshire puds, but he's managed to soak up the last drops and he's on to gravy, his specialist subject. Sponge Boy's struggling. He's only just finished his starter. The light fluffy cake, a favourite with toothless grannies, was a disaster with soup. So how's it gonna fare with the stewed animal guts? Gravy. No problems for Bread Boy. This stuff's soaking up fluids like an absorbent nappy. Yorkshire Pudding Boy's like a pig in mud, clearing up the gravy with squeegee mop efficiency. But it's Bread who's mopped up first, and he's on to the final leg, a dessert. Bread Boy gobbling away and his taste buds won't be struggling either. Bread works with savoury or sweet. Yorkshire Pud making a fight of it, forcing down the last drops of giblet juice and moving on to the lumpy custard. Bread and Yorkshire are neck and neck, but this is Sponge's favourite dish. Can he make a late surge? An unorthodox technique, crumbling the sponge to increase surface area, but it could be wasting valuable seconds. It looks like it's between Bread Boy and Yorkshire Pudding for the title. But it's Bread Boy wolfing down the final drops quicker than an orphan in a workhouse, scoffing his way to a magnificent win.
The most absorbent food is bread.
Sunday, 1898. I lately found a way to create an excellent fire from 2 liquids. Taking a small bottle I'd found on Fanny's dressing table, I squirted in noxious nitrogen dioxide. First a makeshift safety screen. I then drew in a tiny amount of aniline fluid into my syringe and introduced it to the bottle. Hey, golly, it singed my eyebrows. Running the projector more slowly shows if such a conflagration can be harnessed, one day we could very well fly to the moon. Brilliant. Truly was Brainiac Scientifica Abusica.
Things that make you go. Here's one for you. Why is it called your bottom when it's really in the middle of your body?
Things that make you go.
If they can survive long enough, elderly brainiacs enjoy nothing more than a round of golf. All they need is a few pals and a basic set of clubs, which, being old and infirm, they've forgotten. Not to worry though, brainiacs never lose their resourcefulness and the day needn't be abandoned. 4 improvised implements, but which is the best thing to use when you've forgotten your golf bat? It's on to the first tee, and Umbrella Brainiac has the honour. Oh, well played. Middle of the fairway-ish. Sledgehammer next. Slightly less wieldy than your average 3-iron, but how will it hit? Not a bad shot, a touch less distance than the umbrella though. Next up, the plank, and he selected the 4x3 wood. Usually the wood's a good selection from the tee. Unfortunately, he's pulled that one and it's in the heavy rough. Finally, the shovel. And that sounded a sweet hit. And yes, a half-decent shot too. 4x3 Brainiac's ball deemed unplayable, and as he only brought one, he's heading back to the locker room early, leaving our remaining 3 emergency golf sticks to head off down the fairway. What's required here is a lofted shot to land the ball gently on the green. A 7 or 8 iron would be ideal. Unfortunately, he's got a 7 or 8 pound lump of steel. Oh dear, he's caught that a little heavy. It's another improvised golf club out of the running, leaving just a shovel and umbrella to progress up the fairway to the green. Shovel next. Oh, that's embarrassing, but it's the perfect tool to have if you ever want to be invited back to the club. A daisy cutter by umbrella, but at least it's still going the right way. And there's an extra advantage with that particular choice of club. It's a long way up the fairway, but at least Umbrella Brainiac has finally managed to reach the green. But the shovel does have a shot in hand. Oh, bad luck. It's in the bunker. This could let Umbrella Brainiac back in. But that spade is the perfect sand wedge. Both clubs have been equally handy so far. Umbrella could leave Spade with a lot of work to do, but no, he's missed his opportunity. Ball's firmly in the shovel's court now, and Spade proving the club for all seasons, he's turned it into a putter. And with the winner buying the drinks in the clubhouse afterwards, there can only be one solution. So there you have it, a draw, and proof you don't have to spend $2.5 grand on a decent set of clubs. An umbrella and Spade are par for the course. 47 seconds science. Big science questions answered in bite-sized chunks. This week, a culinary teaser. Just how many donuts can you eat before licking your lips? Human lips are extremely tactile and loaded with nerve endings. Touch them gently or coat them with teasing sugar grains and it tickles like mad. But this Brainiac's managed to eat a whole donut and overridden his lip-licking instinct. So, is the experiment complete? Oh no. We need to know how many donuts you can eat without licking those smackers. Because the lips have no sweat glands, they can't protect themselves from drying out. And the more sugar and jam gets on them, the drier they get. Lip licking's the only natural way to lubricate. And after 13 donuts, Brainiac can resist no more. So, can you eat a donut without licking your lips? 1, maybe. But a baker's dozen? No. 47 seconds science. Big science questions quite literally answered in bite-sized chunks.
Welcome back to Brainiac Darts on this glorious sunny day in Northamptonshire. The crowd are going nuts for darts legend Bobby Glitter George. But I won't be playing sailing. He's up against a player with what can only be called a reputation.
Ladies and gentlemen, best of order please. It's Bobby to throw first. Game on.
Of course, for this competition, the darts rule book has been chucked out of the window.
108!
So that each week a different explosive can destroy a caravan. Today, we're using Pentaflex to blow this grubby old thing to skinny ribbons. It's rigged by a pressure-sensitive fuse to double top on our regulation dartboard. When hit, it sets off the fuse wire, which races to the caravan, setting off an eye-watering explosion.
Bobby, you require 113.
Let's rejoin the action. Bobby can check out in 3 darts for the match. Brainiac doing his level best to put Bobby off. He'll get no extra points for choking on his snack. He's certainly not making it easy for Bobby. I don't believe this. Bobby's grabbing Brainiac's darts. I suppose he's going to show him what he should be doing with the arrows. Shovel 21 hits. Super! 13. Double top of the match!
Yes! Team shot! On the match!
And straight away, double top ignites the fuse wire. No time to think about what might have been. It's the moment the crowd have been waiting for. It's to head for cover. Because this caravan is about to go up in a mass of exploding glory. And up she blows. Pendaflex burns with a nice rich flame, as explosives gold's pretty ordinary and normally used for rock blasting. But it's quite a lot of fun when it's sizzling at the heart of a 1980 camper caravan. Perfect end to a perfect game of Brainiac Darts. Bobby George Yates, Brainiac Nout.